my 4-month update. Sebastian is currently asleep downstairs, so I've got just here by the bottom of the stairs in his pram, so I've got my ears out in case he starts screaming. So here we go. Okay, so Sebastian is doing absolutely fantastic at the moment. He is just absolutely thriving, and I could not be happier. He's pretty much looks exactly the same as he did in the 3-month update, and a thing that did worry me was the fact that he hasn't actually really grown much. He's nearly 12 pounds 11 ounces yesterday, and they measured him, and he's still only about 51 centimetres. Which was a bit of a worry because he wasn't, only about 4 weeks ago he was still about the same length, so he hasn't really grown, and it alarmed me when I picked out a baby grow that he has that's fur size, and I thought it was 0 to 3 and it still fits him, and that was when I thought I better go to the health visitor because he just didn't seem to be growing much in his length. But she said it's fine, and that probably in the next few weeks he'll have a bit of a growth spurt and he'll just suddenly grow longer. But he's definitely gotten a lot more kind of chunkier, like his legs are nice and chubby, and he's definitely putting on, or you know, he's putting on weight slowly, which is great. He is an incredibly happy baby. He's always smiling, always laughing. He's no problem whatsoever. We went to a wedding recently and he was just absolutely fine the whole way through, right through from the ceremony to the dinner, everything, he was fine. And then in the evening we were going to kind of monitor it, and we noticed that loads of other children just stayed and were dancing on the dance floor really late, and Sebastian was just dozing in and out of sleep, and I actually had him in my arms, and it was so hot in the venue that he was in just his nappy. So I had him in my arms and we were dancing on the dance floor with him, and it was so loud, like really like vroom, vroom, and he just slept even though we were dancing with him on the dance floor. And then I took off his muslin that was kind of over his head, and he looked up at me with his dummy in his mouth and smiled, and then went back to sleep again. So he obviously wasn't bothered whatsoever, and we had such a good time, and he was a pleasure. He really did us proud. He is, however, currently teething. I noticed probably about when he was about 3 months he started to chew his hand. I don't think that was teething, I think he just discovered his hand, but now he really is actually teething. He was crying his eyes out about 2 weeks ago, really screaming, and I knew that something wasn't right because it was very out of character for Sebastian. So, and I could tell by the way his cheeks were all red and he was really biting down on his hand that he was teething. So I purchased the Aston and Parsons teething salts, which if you haven't heard them you can get them in Boots. They are absolutely amazing. I give him half a sachet in the morning and half a sachet in the evening, and that just sort of really settles things down for him. Then, but what I actually do though, I give him the sachet, I actually rub it around his gums. So they say just to pour it in his mouth, but I don't think that was making much difference for him. I've been rubbing it in his gums. And then in between that, I've been giving him the Nelson's teething salts, which is good. And if I'm out and about and I don't want to give him the salts, then I just give him some Dentalot's teething gel. It seems like a lot, but he's really teething badly. I was hoping that he might be a silent teether, but he's not. It's obviously really troubling him. So provided I use all these things, he's fine. I haven't had to give him any other medication apart from Nurofen every now and then when it's really bad, but that's quite rare. I've currently stopped giving him Cowpole because I've noticed that he just didn't sleep very well when he took the Cowpole, and I later found out that it's because it has loads of sugar and E numbers in it. So I decided that I'm not going to use Cowpole at all, and I'll find something else for whatever else he needs, but I'll stick to the Nurofen. I'd rather have him have the Nurofen. Which doesn't have as much in it, but the Nurofen does kind of, you've got to be careful with their stomach lining, so I just give that. It's quite rare that I tend to give that to him. So Sebastian has now woken up. Say hello to everybody, Theb. Yeah, he was just napping downstairs. So as I was saying, Sebastian is now playing with loads of things. He actually will actively grab things and play. So this is his favourite toy at the moment. This is a Bright Starts like elephant with a crinkly belly, and it has these like teething bits at the bottom. He doesn't quite understand what these teething bits are for, so you have to kind of help him put it in his mouth. He tries to put it in his mouth, but he kind of gets himself all confused. But he really likes this one, We also have a Sophie the giraffe. I don't know that he's so keen on Sophie, and the reason it's got this gap in it is because the dog chewed it and I had to cut the remainder bit off. But it's really good for teething. It's natural rubber, but he hasn't quite mastered putting Sophie in his mouth either. Though because what Sebastian needs to do is he needs to chew on it. He needs to actually, you know, rather than just put it in his mouth, he needs to actually gnaw it. And though he can grab this quite well because it's quite thin, he won't actually bite down on it. He hasn't quite discovered that skill yet. And another thing that's been happening is that as soon as I had Sebastian, about a month later, I started losing all my hair and it's falling out everywhere. So if you've got this problem, can you please let me know? Because I feel alright. I haven't had my bloods done, which is a bit naughty, but I feel like I'm okay. I've got energy. I don't think my iron's low. So just let me know if you've had this issue as well, because my hair's really starting to thin out and it's literally everywhere. Back to his toys. He's got another one of these Nubu teething gel rings as well, but this, again, it's quite thick, so you can't really hold on to it. So I'm going to save this for when he's a bit older, because it does really help when you help him put it in his mouth. And then I'm going to probably get him something from the Nubu range that's smaller. I do have this, which a kind friend of mine gave a bunch of rattles to me, and it was really nice because they're quite small. You can just slip them in your handbag. And he likes to hold this one as well because it's got a few kind of rough bits that he can chew on. As for nappies, he is now full-time cloth. We've done a couple of nights in cloth as well, but he has woken up wet, and so I've kind of just stuck with just one disposable. He has one disposable that'll last him through the night, and then I just change him in the morning. So one disposable throughout the night is no big deal when he's changing his nappy constantly throughout the day. His nappies are disgusting. They are like bomb explosions, explosive atom bombs, aren't they, Sebastian? Because of his teething. They're very, very runny and very just explosive. That even my best pocket nappy are not containing the poo. And disposable. So many people have said, go back to disposables. Disposables are even worse. They really don't contain the poo. So the pockets do contain it, but it starts to leak out the sides. The only thing that will contain it is my trusted pre-fold nappies. So he is in those all the time at the moment, and they're not as pretty because the covers, you can only get so many covers for them. So I've kind of ordered some extra covers just so that he looks prettier in his nappy. And I have been using a pocket nappy as a cover as well on the pre-fold, and I like them because they're not so bulky, but they literally are bomb proof. Like, they hold everything. They're really absorbent, and you know, Sebastian's really finds them quite comfortable. So I really enjoy using the pre-folds at the moment. I think they're turning into my favourite nappy system. So as for sleep, you guys will be pleased to know that well, Sebastian is sleeping nearly all the way through now. He will go down at 7 and he will wake up at about 4:15, 4:30 for a feed, and then go back down again till about 7, 8. So I am over the moon with Sebastian's progress. It's just made such a difference for myself and my husband. We're not so kind of tired anymore, and we can actually go to bed and know we're not going to wake up an hour later, which is really nice. Although yesterday I came upstairs and accidentally woke him up when I dropped something, and he was really kind of at that stage where he was about to start crying but didn't cry. And my husband kept saying, oh, let me just feed him, and I was like, no, and I stuck to my guns and said, no, he has to learn to self-settle. And he didn't, it wasn't crying, it was like half tired. So I just put his dummy in his mouth and just kind of held it in there so it didn't drop out, and he dozed off, and so that was fine. And yeah, so I'm so pleased. I'm still pleased with Seb. As for myself, I am doing absolutely fantastic. I am so happy at the moment. I love Sebastian with all my heart. He's just an absolute pleasure. He's such a pleasurable child, or baby. He's no problem, and he's so much fun. I get really excited to wake up with him in the morning. It's such a contrast to how I was when I first had him, and it's made me realise that my labour and delivery had played such a huge impact in that. And I think, you know, I have a lot of regrets when it comes to that, but I've definitely learned, and we've decided that we're going to start trying for a baby next year, another one, a little brother or sister for Sebastian. I had originally had August in mind, but I've decided that I'd quite like a winter baby. So because I want to be able to cover myself up after my postpartum, and also I don't really want them to go through the whole heat thing that Sebastian's gone through. And I've just noticed that so many of his clothes we've had to get rid of and buy in kind of more summer clothes, so at least we'll get more wear out of his clothes in the winter. Or I say his, like they're the baby's clothes. I'm 100% sure that we're going to have a boy, because there's a really strong male gene in the family. Everyone seems to give birth to boys, and I'm fine with that. Like, I've never really wanted a girl at all, and I've got a feeling it's going to be a boy. I've kept all his clothes, and it's just gut feeling it's going to be a boy. And Chris, my husband, really wants a girl, but I mean, either way, whatever we have, as long as the baby's healthy, that's the most important thing. But I would really like another little boy as a little brother for Sebastian, because they'll be close in age, and then they can grow up together, and hopefully they'll be close, which will be nice. As you can see behind me, I don't know if you can even see it behind me, but I have a jumperoo and a baby walker now. Sebastian is tiny for the jumperoo. He doesn't even, like, the seat part comes up here. He can't look over it properly, but I bought it because it was just an absolute bargain. I've been after a rainforest jumperoo for a long time, and I'm really looking forward to when he can start bouncing in that. And the same with the walker. Those VTech walkers are really popular, and I thought I'd just pick one up now while I could. So that's pretty much it for the update. Like I said, for myself, I feel absolutely fine. I probably feel a bit better than I did before I had Sebastian. I just feel like just so much more like I can be myself again, and just really enjoying life at the moment. So yeah, it's all going well. As for my weight, I'll do a belly shot afterwards. My weight has gone down, and I'm really happy with the way I am at the moment. There's still a few clothes that don't fit me yet, but I'm not kind of doing anything active to lose weight. I'm just eating really healthily. I make sure I eat breakfast every single day, and though sometimes I'm not so good at lunch, I always have a relatively healthy dinner as well. So that's it for our 4-month update. You're gonna say bye-bye, Sebastian? He's probably getting a bit hungry now. That's it for our 4-month update, and I'm currently filming a cloth nappy series as well, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you guys soon. And if you haven't subscribed or like the video and subscribe. Take care, bye! Okay, as for my belly, this is from the side. I'm really pleased at the moment with the way that looks.